So, did you find any exercises, or did you practice anything to hear constantly really new stuff, or to hear new music in your mind which you never, or do you ever work on this?
I try to do that every time I play and every time I practice. But I always try to play something that I've never played before. Now, am I really playing something that I've never played before? Can I even remember everything that I've ever played? You know, obviously, you know, I mean, I've been playing for a long time, so, you know, but I try to play things that I've never played before. I try to play what's in my mind. I try to visualize what's in my mind and then just play that the first time, you know. But I'm doing, like every other human, a lot of repeating, you know. But this is what I compare it to. I'm talking to you right now, and you asked me this question. Now, other people have asked me other forms of questions that are similar to this, but nobody's asked me exactly what you've asked me. It wasn't exactly this moment. I didn't feel this way and everything. So the answer I'm giving you is not exactly the same as I've given before. No, it's in the area of things I've said before. But these exact words, in this exact way, I've never said it before. I'm pretty sure about that. Although each individual word I may have said before, even phrases. You see what I'm saying? And so I mean, I see you dissatisfied with that answer, but I look at it like that. I look at it like I'm trying to form like right now I have an idea in my head that's a response to what you said, and I'm trying to find a way of explaining it. And when I'm playing, I'm doing more or less the same thing. You know, I'm thinking about this moment. I'm not thinking about how, you know, what I did last week or, you know, because I never had exactly this exchange with somebody. See, I'm usually playing in a situation where I'm playing with other musicians. And so, of course, no situation is going to happen where it's exactly the same as something that happened before. For example, in my group, I have 4 or 5 people in the group. You know, we're not going to play something exactly the same way. Now, if I'm truly responding to everybody, then that means that, you know, I'm having a different conversation with them than I had before. Okay? But what I'm talking about is the ability to be able to have in your mind what the response is to this different conversation and to be able to do it. You know,
yeah.
To actually be able to do it. It doesn't mean the bits and pieces of the thing you haven't said before, but to be able to have a new conversation, as opposed to you say something to me and I say I have a black shirt, and then you say something else and I just keep repeating I have a black shirt. You know, I mean, I just say the same sentence that I said some other time. You know, that's what some music feels like to me. You know, some people, they have everything worked out, and no matter what you do, they play their worked out thing or their worked out comping or whatever, you know, and that's it. Nothing changes. You know, I mean, it may change on some level, but I guess we're talking about degrees here, and it's hard to name the degrees. You know, it's hard to say 98% change, 94% change. You know, it's hard to put a title on it. You know, but you know it when you're playing with somebody. You know, different people have different tolerances for what that is. Some people have less tolerance. Some people have more tolerance. But you yourself are the final arbiter, the final judge of what that is. You know, in the end, I can't tell you that. I just try to be as creative as I can. That may not be creative enough for some people. It may be too creative for other people, you know. But you just try to be yourself, and you try to be as creative as you can. For example, in some ways I'm a traditionalist, and I know that for some people, like maybe for some people in the area that you were talking about, my music may be too traditional or too formed or something or whatever, you know, has too much form to it and everything. On the other hand, there are people who, you know, you might commonly call traditionalists who think I'm out. I've been called both, out and in. You know, I mean, too far in and too far out, you know, but it depends on who's talking. You know what I'm saying? So some guys who get together and play Donnelly and rhythm changes all day, I'm too far out. You know, oh, the guy doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know changes. He doesn't know this, he does this, you know. But to some guys who are maybe on the texture kind of thing, you know, they might be, oh, well, that's boring. All he's doing is, you know, I mean, you know, so you can be, no matter how far out you are, there's always somebody who went further, you know, I mean, and what's out? For me, my definition of out is not being able to play what you want to play. I guess that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, you know. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with a lot said, because we function better or easier when we have a certain habit. So in order to develop, like we want to practice, right, to develop our ears, like what we are talking about right here. So
you're building habits, basically.
You're building habits. So how do you go about your day to practice all that stuff? Or do you have like a routine that you do certain things?
No. That's one thing. But maybe not having a routine is a routine. I don't know, you know. But I try to avoid routines, but by avoiding routines, I could be subconsciously creating another kind of routine. You know, the routine of avoiding routines, you know. I mean, I try not to have a too regimented a thing, you know. The only thing I try to practice every day is creating. Because I mean, Cecil Taylor once said that whatever you practice, that's what you're gonna play. You know, and I found that to be pretty true, you know. So I try to practice playing what's in my mind the first time. I try to spend a lot of time practicing that, because that's ultimately what I want to be able to do, you know. And just have an image in my mind of something and play it the first time, or as close as I can get to it right away without practicing it, you know. So I try to practice that skill, which means practicing playing things the first time. And that's a hard one to, you know. I mean, because, you know, people say, well, what about the horn? You gotta learn the horn. You gotta learn where C is and D, and, you know, and that's true. You have to do all that. So it's not, nobody said it was easy. You gotta figure it out, you know, how to do it.
I have heard some bands who are so very well together and so much like on the same way of thinking, because they play together. So the music sounds very together, but there is no challenge.
To you. But you don't know what's happening with them. I mean, I've seen bands that the people in the band thought it was killing, and maybe I didn't, you know. But it's not about me, you know. It's about them and what they're trying to do. Because you have to understand that everybody's not trying to do the same thing. You know, everybody doesn't have the same criteria, and everybody also doesn't have the same goals. They're not making music for the same reasons. So different people are doing different things, and for them it might be fine, and for you it might be, well, that was unsuccessful, you know. But you know, you have to be careful to take our criteria and project it onto somebody else when we don't know exactly what it is that they're doing. The only thing I can be sure about, and even sometimes I'm unsure about this, is myself. You know, I mean, and even that I get lost sometimes. You know, I'm definitely not sure about what you want to do, or whatever. That's why a lot of times people give me CDs and they say, I want you to tell me what you think of my CD. And I say no. You know, and they get upset. They say, why? Why won't you tell me what you think of the CD? I was like, because I don't know what you're trying to do. I mean, it's your creative music. I don't know what you're trying to do. I mean, I would only judge it based on what I'm trying to do. And, you know, that's useless for you, or it should be. You know, I know what they want, and I know people usually do that out of respect. You know, they give somebody, they respect the CD, and then they want to hear their opinion, and they think it's going to help them and all that, you know. But actually, in the end, you're the only one that can really help. I mean, you're the only one that really knows what you're doing. I guess that's what I'm saying. You know, and even that can change over time. You know, so there's you and the group that you're working with. I guess that's ultimately what I'm saying. What I'm interested in is, why did you ask that question about Grossman and all those cats? What were you thinking?
Oh, I was thinking I like those, I like Derek Bailey personally.
Yeah, it was Derek Bailey first, yeah.
And I don't know if he'd be, I've never met him, I don't know if he'd be able to recall pitches like that, but I think he can communicate with other guys, at least.
But you have the feeling that he can't do that? Is that
I don't know. If you start playing those, at 7 chords and moving the bottom note and whatnot, if he would be able to play that back to you, I don't know if he could or not, but it wouldn't matter necessarily for the kind of stuff he does.
Yeah, it might not. That's precisely right. It might not matter for what he's doing.
I never even thought of would he do that. I just enjoy the music, you know.
You have to understand that there's a lot of stuff that we call music. So we're doing this, right? What does that mean to somebody like, I don't know, LL Cool J or Tupac or somebody, if he was still here, you know? Nothing. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, it may not mean anything to somebody in China either. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that, it's anything that I talk about, you could put it into some kind of cultural context. And even context in terms of where we are right now, and you have to put it in the context of who I am. If you went to a workshop with John Coltrane, then you have to understand that, you're dealing with, a person that's in a certain place and a certain, no matter how great they are, they're still in a certain situation. Then if you go to, I don't know, Shiva Raman's workshop, you're dealing with something else, so, it's a whole multitude of stuff out here, to deal with. I personally think that that there are certain basics in music, but then that's just my personality. Somebody else might not feel it. I know people who ignore pitch altogether. Obviously like rappers and people like that, who it's not even a part of their thing, And so that's much more extreme than what you're talking about, it's not even a part of their thing. And they do fine, they still make music, And I'm fine with that. I don't have any problem with what anybody's gonna do, Because it's hard enough for me to get together what I'm trying to do. I can't be worried about everybody else, the rest of the world, and all this kind of stuff. So I just try to learn from different things. But the person who doesn't do pitch at all, there may be something else that they're very, very strong at.
Right.
That you're checking out. Some of these people you mentioned, the texture thing may be something, that you check. Different people, different things, So sometimes you listen to somebody for a specific thing. I listen to people who don't improvise at all. Obviously, I'm not listening to them for improvisation. Because that's not what they do. I'm sorry, man. You had something a long time ago.